Every afternoon the boy lingered after class, said he was just finishing homework. The teacher never questioned it, just let him stay. 18 years later, she told him the truth. She always knew, and she had a reason for never saying a word. In 2007, Mrs. Bell taught 5th grade in a small town where secrets traveled slower than storms. Her class was loud, bright, full of the usual mischief. But there was one boy, Daniel, who stood out not because he acted up, but because he never left. Every day when the bell rang, kids rushed for buses and bikes. Daniel stayed in his seat. "I'm just finishing math. I need to double-check my spelling." At first she thought he was studious or shy, but one day she noticed him watching the clock, not to leave, but to delay. He never asked for help. He never caused trouble. He just lingered like a shadow that didn't want to go home. Mrs. Bell had been teaching for 22 years. She'd seen all types, the loud ones, the lost ones, the lonely ones. Daniel, he was different. No bruises, no visible neglect, but she knew that kind of silence. She reviewed his file. Father not listed. Mother had 3 jobs. He lived with a stepfather recently released from jail. That night she sat at her desk long after dark and made a decision. She wouldn't ask him to talk, wouldn't pry, but she would always leave her classroom open, unofficially. For the rest of the year, the same pattern repeated. The bell rang, kids vanished, Daniel stayed. Sometimes he read books quietly, sometimes he cleaned whiteboards without being asked, sometimes he just sat, staring out the window, listening to the sound of safety. Mrs. Bell would make 2 cups of tea, one for her, one she left by the corner of her desk, which Daniel would sip when he thought she wasn't looking. They rarely spoke beyond school topics, but that silence, it was sacred. She never called child services. There was nothing specific, but she kept notes, logged everything, just in case. On the last day of school, Daniel handed her a card, homemade, folded crookedly. It read, "Thank you for letting me stay late. You made me feel safe. D." He hugged her once, tight, then ran off before she could say anything. She never saw him again. Years passed. She retired, packed up the classroom, took the card with her, kept it in a drawer beside her tea bags. She was 70 when she got the email. Subject line, "Are you Mrs. Bell from Lincoln Elementary?" It was from a man named Daniel H., now a social worker. He'd found her through the school district's alumni board. They met for coffee. He was taller now, confident, but his eyes, they were still the same. He told her everything about the abuse, about how her classroom became his shelter, how he knew she knew, and that her silence gave him dignity. "Why didn't you ever ask me what was wrong?" She smiled. "Because I didn't want to take your reason for staying away." Before they left, Daniel handed her a small envelope. Inside was a note and a photo, him standing in front of the group home he now ran, with the caption, "Some of us make it because someone left a light on long enough." She cried, not out of sadness, but relief that the silence she offered had spoken louder than any question ever could. If this story moved you, pass it on. Because not every child needs a savior, some just need a safe place to wait for sunrise.